For Mary Ann, her son's deployment was a trial all day, every day. Even though the 325 had family support programs, the mayors live out in the civilian community.
There was no day-to-day, there was no day-to-day support. I wish I had been friends with another Marine mother at the time, because it's very lonely. You think you're the only one going through it, and you feel a lot alone.
Janie Reinert had already had the experience. Her son Joe enlisted in the Ohio National Guard right after 9/11 and was deployed to Iraq in 2004.
If a family hasn't gone through that, they can't really appreciate the stress that it puts on the family, the concern that family members have, especially the mother, and to the father as well.
Janie sent care packages and letters, emailed seasonal stills of Northeast Ohio.
Made it a point of going around town and taking pictures of random things from everyday life. He left in December, so a cardinal in the snow, the river frozen, the falls frozen, walking around, and then each of the different seasons I'd try and say, this is what's happening at home now, and take pictures and email it to him.
My family were the people that were there. They were kind of like the cornerstone of what kept me linked with my old life back in the, back here, back at home, and kind of gave me that sense of happiness that, to get me through some of the harder times.
Joe was able to call home frequently. Although he was in an engineer company, he was drawing a lot of convoy duty as a squad automatic weapons gunner on a Humvee. One day,
thinking back, I mean, it must have been a terrible experience for me to get on the phone with my mom and say, hey, I almost was killed in a roadside bomb incident earlier today. But at that time I was upset, and I've always confided in my parents,
Joe's Humvee briefly diverted off the main road. He would have been where the IED went off, and the truck driver who wound up there controlled his vehicle despite losing both legs in the explosion.
Joe was in such anguish because he said, that should have been me. And here I am on a phone call with him. I don't know how many more seconds I have to talk to him. And what do I say? Bless this brave soldier, this peacemaker. Give him faith as his strong shield. Help Joe and his unit to travel in safety.
Janie's a professional writer and teacher. She wrote a prayer for Joe and all deployed service members, and it eventually got published in a religious magazine while Stan Mayer was in Iraq. Mary Ann read it and was touched. She had known Janie in college, but they lost touch with each other. Mary Ann contacted Janie, and they got together.
It was the first time that I sat down and talked about the experience, and the first time I got to say, me too. Me too, you did that? Oh my gosh, I did that. I thought I was going crazy, but you did it too.
We talked about how we lived through the experience, or as she was living through the experience, and told her, I think we should write about this. I said I had written my story, and it had helped me a lot.
We started saying, if we have stories, and if we're so soothed and comforted and validated by each other's story, there's got to be tons of other mothers out there that can also be helped by sharing their story.
From that grew the idea of a book, multiple stories written by mothers telling their experience of a child's deployment. They tried for months to collect the stories, but weren't getting many. Many of the mothers they approached felt unable or unwilling to write.
When you write a story about sending a child to war, you're right back at that place. And it's a painful thing to go through.
I felt like these women deserved a platform.
Columnist and radio talk show host Regina Brett got wind of the project and invited Mary Ann, Janie, and another mother onto her show in the heart of Cleveland's Playhouse District.
The war is something that people read about, and it's far away, somewhere they're never going to go. But when you have a mother talking about, I used to worry about waking up my son for school. Now I worry, is he going to get home safe and not get blown up on the road back to the base? It really strikes you that this isn't just about a war. This is about children that people raised and loved, and they want to see them come back in one piece. To hear what that's like for a mom, I think it took the war home in a way that they hadn't had it before.
So she had our article in her column on the paper, and on the same day we were on her radio show. And by the time I got home from downtown Cleveland, my email box was overflowing with people that wanted to write and requesting more information. And this went on for months.
There was plenty of work still to be done, but the process was underway that would lead to publication. The title came from a letter Joe Reinert had written home.
I think I finished by saying, you know, I long of days to come where I can, you know, just do normal things, you know, play chess and hang out with the family and, you know, go to church, that kind of thing. And then I said, you know, I love you more than you know, your son, Joe.
Love You More Than You Know was published in 2009 with accounts from 45 mothers, including Janie and Mary Ann.
The courage that I saw from some of these mothers far surpasses anything that I experienced. Some mothers were going through divorce, husbands dying, cancer, multiple deployments. You know, I had a 7-month taste of this, but some of our mothers have had much more.
We have 3 goals. We want to have the book be therapeutic for the moms who write. We want to have the book be a guide to the moms who are going to go on this journey of separation with their children. And we want to give back to our veterans. We want a portion of the proceeds to go to our vets and their families.
They've donated to the Marine Semper Fi Fund and to the Bob Woodward Foundation's Remind.org.
It's difficult to read that book without crying. I can't get through like more than one story at a time. But just hearing how the other mothers have coped has been, you know, a comfort. Seeing that they have survived, they've gone through this.
Judy Podrasky is assistant principal at St. Francis Xavier School, where Mary Ann Mayer teaches. Judy's son enlisted recently. She leans on Mary Ann for advice. She's already coming to grips with being on the home front.
I guess I've learned that you have to take, you know, one day at a time, that life is precious, and that as a mother, the best gift I can give my son is my prayers, you know, is my prayers.
Two mothers, 2 teenage girls. Individuals can make a difference. The family experiences of deployment may all be different, but sometimes one person's troubles may lead to something that eases the burdens of others. I'm Staff Sergeant Brian Buckwalter. Thanks for watching Recon.